Hey guys, I'm going to do the frequently asked questions, the tasting niche frequently asked questions. First, I'm going to open a beer. And this beer is, you guys probably can't read that. This is from Tyler Everson. This is his KBS clone. And I've been sitting on it, and I'm going to go ahead and drink it because I had the real thing last week. And I'm going to go ahead and go from memory and answer these questions and talk about this beer. So, it smells a lot similar. It smells pretty good. It's got a real dank kind of dark chocolate. Just a huge dark chocolate. The coffee's not really there, but I've been letting it warm up too. But yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. So, 10 questions. 10 questions being a wild card. Just the 10th one being a wild card is kind of what people ask me. I don't think a lot of people really know, and my general people that I homebrew, and that I homebrew a lot at times. So I don't really get a whole lot of questions. I'm not the used car salesman type of guy where I walk up and have conversations with people I don't know. Yeah, I guess sort of reclusive like that. Maybe I'm just a nerd or just a douchebag. But anyway, let's get on to question number one. How did I get into beer geeking, and why beer? I don't know. You know, I'm a tinkerer. I like to make things, so that's probably what led me down this path. I got into craft beer probably in my late 20s, and I seen the movie, well, the TV show with Sam Calagione. I said, well, if he's making beer with those type of ingredients, why can't I make beer? So I bugged my wife. So then, let's see, was it, put that pen down. That was Christmas of 2009 when I got my first beer kit, and it was extract with steeping grains, Irish Stout, Guinness clone, and it turned out all right. I did not wait to add the water, the top off water, once I had chilled down to pitching temp. I went ahead and I thought, well, I know I put this much alcohol, I know I put this much water in the boil, and this is all this crap, so I put, well, I need this much water for top off, and ended up being way too much liquid. So it was pretty watered down. That's good, Tyler. It's got a little bit of booziness to it, but it's a big beer. So yeah, and that's, beer has been that. I've never liked liquor, vodka, whiskey, all that stuff, gin. No, not really. I got sick quite a few times in college off of vodka and liquor, and so I kind of steer clear. College. Yes. Question number 2, favorite beer. My favorite beer probably, and I don't buy it because it's kind of expensive, is the Brew Kettle White Raja. It's a mostly Citra IPA. It's about a 7%er. It's pretty stinking good. I can get it all the time down here. It's just like $12 for a 6-pack. So I just kind of, I'll get something else. That, and I drink my own beers. But they also make a double IPA, and it is phenomenal. But I can't get it unless I buy a 6-pack of Bombers in a variety pack, and that's it. I know that not Bombers are 12 ounce bottles, but I can't get it. But it's got a picture of a Mexican wrestler on the front of it, La Luchadore, I think is what it's called, but Luprin Adore. So anyway, it's a play off of Mexican wrestlers in Lupulin. So it's pretty funny stuff, but it's pretty exciting for me when I get that. Let's see. So that's my favorite beer. If I had one beer to drink for the rest of my life, what would it be? As much as I like the Brew Kettle White Raja, would I drink it forever? I don't know. Um, Thinking in my head, what do I like? I like a lot of beers. It would probably be an IPA. Maybe it probably would be that beer. I don't know. I like um, my local. There's a ton of local breweries here in Cincinnati. It's overwhelming. But there's a beer that Christian Moerlein makes. It's called Third Wave IPA. It's not a special IPA. It's a very solid, very good IPA. But that's just something. It's super crushable. It's about 6%. It's just and it's 15, $16 for a 15 pack. So yeah, it's is it the best beer out there? No, but it's good. It's got that nice solid um, IPA, but it's not a super high alcohol beer. So that would probably be a beer I would probably keep around if I had to for a long time. And how can you drink so much beer and stay healthy? Um, I'm overweight. I've always been overweight. But um, about, let's see, 3 years ago, five, no, it's probably been closer to almost 5 years ago. I dropped about 130 pounds. So yeah, and I gained some of that back, but that's all through diet. All through diet. Now, well, I used to work in a place where I had to walk everywhere, so I was walking miles a day. It was at the GE Jet Engines Proving Ground out in Peebles, Ohio. So I'd walk from one building to another, and if that's it, I walked everywhere unless I had to go up to a test site. Then I had to get a truck. I couldn't walk to the test site, but so I'd walk all the time. But that doesn't really count as exercise when you do it every day when it's part of your daily routine. So, but now I do cardio 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, but most times 5 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week, depending on my schedule. Just trying to get some lbs down. So I've lost about 20 pounds since end of January this year. Can't really tell because I've been growing a beard since about January of this year. So big beard. Not I've always had a beard, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I do take care of myself. I eat healthy. Everything I cook, so I know it goes into my food. Very little processed stuff in my house. I make everything except for breads, and but I do make my own pizza dough. I make my own biscuits. So everything that goes into my mouth is something that I've personally touched, personally dealt with, and that's where my like beer geekness kind of tweaks a little bit because I come at it more of like a culinary kind of background. Not that I'm a trained cook. I just spent a lot of time with my mom growing up. So I cook a lot. I love to cook. That's my dude. That's my thing. Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, I stay healthy. I mean, my blood pressure and all that stuff's just ridiculously good. I'm extremely fortunate. Yeah, my blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff's just ridiculous. I've got very little cartilage in my knees. I've got arthritis all over. It's not rheumatoid. It's osteo. So I'm not really going to complain about it. A lot of years of football, wrestling in high school, college football, elementary, junior high, high school football, wrestling, track, baseball, factory work. My hands are kind of shot. But anyway, it's not too bad. I mean, I say that, but I'm functional, except when the weather turns and my hands kill me. But anyway, you guys don't need to hear about that. Let's see. Am I an alcoholic? Not at all. Not at all. Some days I barely even drink. I may go days without a beer. Typically, I may drink one beer a night, no more than 2 beers a night. Except for the weekends, then I may have like 3 or 4 beers throughout the course of the day, and that's from 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon up until I go to bed at say 10, 11 o'clock. So yeah, I'm not pounding beers. And so it's just whatever I feel like doing at the time. Favorite ingredient? I would like to say yeast, but I live in a comfort zone with my beers. I like to play with beer, but I'm not going to do anything super outrageous with beers. Um, I'll play with yeast. I'll play with the different ingredients. I like adding fruits to beers. But I don't want to waste any money, so that's where my reservations are. I hate wasting money. I do tons and tons of research, whether it be talking with the guys on the round table, the YouTube guys, or the Facebook guys, or just me sitting down browsing through like Mad Fermented List, and if I could talk, and but you guys get the point, browsing through Homebrew Talk and all the different chat groups on like Beer Advocate or whatever, just constantly reading through this stuff when I'm trying to decide if I want to go a certain route with a certain style. So yeah. And do I brew? Yes. But let's go, I guess my favorite ingredient right now, it's got to be hops. I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to take part in some experiment groups on YouTube, hop experiment groups. We did a malt experiment group thanks to Puka, and it really helps, and it's an easy way, an inexpensive way to really learn what Pilsner tastes like, what Maris Otter tastes like. Different maltsters type of Maris Otter. There is a difference. Two-row, whether it's U.S. or Belgium, or it's just, you learn that stuff, and it's not an expensive deal to do. You share your beers, you get good beers back. It's an easy way to learn a ton. So if you've got the time and someone says, hey, you want to get in this malt experiment, we're going to do a hop experiment, do you want to go ahead and get into that? And you're thinking, man, is it really worth, it's going to cost you probably $20 some to ship all the beers. It's probably going to cost you, I don't know, $20 to $25 to make the beer, whatever. It's well worth it. It's a hell of an experience. It's a good time. So my first beer, do I brew? I'll answer that. I went, yes, I brew a lot. Sometimes not much. I have a bad habit. My timing sucks. I usually wait until the kegs are empty, then I start brewing the refill, which 2-3 weeks, a month later, I finally fill in that keg. So my first beer, thinking about it, would probably be, it's either a Budweiser, just straight up Budweiser, or Little Kings, Little Killers. My dad never really drank. He said he did in his first marriage, but I've never really seen him drink that much. So it's either Little Kings or Budweiser. And yeah, probably my early teens, probably ahead of my first beer, maybe. And I thought it was okay. I wasn't in love with it. I never really got in love with craft beer until I was probably 25, 26 years old, maybe, or so. And then that's when I stopped drinking like Bud Light, Miller Lite, and just started really drinking like full on Budweiser. And it's a different flavor, a lot more flavor than your basic Bud Light. But then I found Guinness, fell in love with Guinness. Then I started drinking a local Mount Carmel Stout, and it was just really changed my world. Yeah, the stout, and they're brown, and it just probably, it really turned me on. I wasn't that big into IPAs back then. Hop forward beers are definitely an acquired taste, kind of like sours. You've kind of got to get your palate geared to that. And that was my path in the IPAs, which I love now, was a lot like everyone else's. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, not really an IPA, but it's a pretty good hop forward pale. So yeah, I got into that. Then it just kind of progressed. And I remember the first time I tried Ruination, and I was just like, fuck, my tongue is just so stinking bitter. But yeah, I liked it. I loved it. Cheers, Tyler. It's good stuff. It's got some nice little caramel kind of taffy notes in the background. It's pretty good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of that. I just kind of progressed, and buy beers, you try beers, you go with friends, and yeah, you start doing a lot of YouTube stuff. YouTube's my homebrew club. Who do I look up to? I've read Charlie Papazian's books. I've read some Palmer's books, and those guys are great. And I'm not going to say anything bad about those guys, but I'm kind of like a show me, prove it to me kind of guy. So I tend to read a lot, like I said earlier, in homebrew chats, and I get on the internet and I look through stuff. So, but really, the guys that I admire the most are probably the guys that I talk with a lot. Dan Desolitz, he's a wealth of knowledge. I've had the privilege of talking with that guy on the phone, and just the stuff that comes out of his head's nuts. Tyler's another one. Just super nice guy. He's got himself a small barrel collection, and super jealous. I've got one barrel. He's got like 20. Not really 20, but Josh Secor, he's a guy that's I remember his video that's the video that I subbed. I started subbing to Josh when he kept reiterating the fact that we're homebrewers, we do what we want, and that really stuck with me. It sticks with me today. Nate and Brad Pico, those guys are. I had the privilege of meeting Brad, and we hung out for a while and drank some beers and got really drunk, and that was an awesome time. And guys like that, Carlisle, and he's such a fucking nice guy. He kills me. I give him so much. I give him a hard time. I'm kind of an asshole. Sometimes I feel bad because I give him a hard time. It's all in fun. He's a super nice guy, and I think a lot of those guys. Ryan Lewis, he's fucking smart, dude, when it comes to beers and just stuff that comes out of his head. And he's another guy that he's really on brewing at a different level. I'm a process guy, really. I do a lot of research. I get my recipe kind of figured out. Then at that point, then I'm all process. If I'm going to do this for mash at this temperature, then that's going to be done. Then this is step by step by step, and I think that's how I make good beer. It's hard work. Everybody knows it. It's fun, but you can't go into the process and be half-assed about everything. If you're going to mash for 60 minutes, mash for 60 minutes. You're going to boil for an hour. Make sure you hit all your gravities, your pre-boil, your post-boil, your hop drops, all that stuff. I mean, it's not saying that I'm 100% all the time, because I'm not, because I'm lazy, but still, it's a process, and that's what I enjoy the most, is making the beer, not so much drinking it all the time. I'm super excited about my beer for probably about 2 or 3 weeks after it's kegged, and I'm kind of like, meh. I mean, it's the quality changed in the 3 weeks that it's been kegged? No, but I'm kind of like, let's get it out of here. It's time for something else. But all right, so that's who I look up to, all those guys. If I'm commenting on your videos, then that's because I enjoy the content. I think it's worth it. There's stuff that I want to do. There's stuff that I see, and there's stuff that I enjoy. I don't make a lot of time to watch videos. I got a lot going on with 3 kids, spring soccer. There's a lot going on in my life right now. So, I don't know. Here's a backstory. You guys will enjoy this, maybe. My Homebrew Wednesday introduction, right? I'll tell you exactly what that's all about. And it's a wink and a nod to SJ. That's all it is. I don't know what video it was, but he had done something very similar, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it, and it's just going to be wink and a nod, just to acknowledge that he started this thing that we've all just gotten into, and it's involved so many people, and it involved so much time in my life. So yeah, I just went ahead and did it, and I've done it up to that point, and that's all it is. It's just an acknowledgement that SJ started all this stuff, and we owe him a big thank you. Not that I'm going to get all tearied up, but anyway, that's the backstory. It's nothing special. I'm not brilliant. I'm not that creative. But anyway, all right, guys. In number 10, the wild card. What do I get asked most frequently? For me, guys, when they find out that I brew, there's a couple questions. Do you sell your beer? No, I do not sell my beer. That would be illegal. And then another one is, well, how do you come up with recipes? And it's, a lot of research. Probably now that I've been brewing since 2009, I'm finally feeling comfortable enough to kind of step out and say, well, this is how I want to build my recipe. And there's a handful of beers now that I do now that are all mine. There's pretty simple recipes. I build my recipes the same way. I like my food. I like them simple and done well. You've got to nail it. And that's the thing about beer. Sometimes I feel like you can create a recipe and you can hide off flavors in, say, things like dry hops or just a huge amount of hops. Or you can hide off flavors in adjuncts like coffee and chocolate and just all this other stuff. But I think you can hide the fact that the base beer just is okay. And I don't want to be that guy. I make a lot of, I think, decent beers. Some of my beers I feel like are okay, but that's kind of my feeling on beer. If you're going to make a beer and add things to it, the base beer should be a good beer. And it shouldn't be an okay beer. So yeah, that's it for me, a lot of research, a lot of reading on my part, a lot of scanning through threads on Homebrew Talk and Northern Brewer chat room, beer advocate chat rooms, all that stuff. And I don't really get on Reddit too much unless it's porn. Yeah, porn on Reddit. But anyway, that was a joke. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Am I gonna tag anybody? I don't think so, because everybody that I would even think about tagging would they've already done it or they've been tagged. I'd love to hear Elder's story, but he's already been tagged. I'd like to hear Ryan Lewis's Lubrew stories. I know he's already been tagged. But yeah, all right, guys, that's it. Cheers. All right, guys, see you. Hey, during the course of my video, I mentioned that I met Brad, and I've talked to Brad on the phone, but Nate and I spent intimate time together in Dayton. Another guy that I sort of guess Chris Pastian. I can't. Hunter nails. Anyway, I can't talk. But everybody on this whole YouTube and this Facebook chat group that we're all part of now, you guys know who you are. But yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out. So, but Chris, man, that guy, he'll suck the knowledge out of your head. And it took him about 5 minutes to get all my knowledge out of my head. But anyway, just wanted to go ahead and clarify that it was Nate that I met, not Brad. But I did talk to Brad on the phone, and he thought I was Nate. All right, guys.